Australia, the great southern land. For eons, it has been isolated from the rest of the world. Its amazingly unique wildlife sharing the continent with the Noongars, the Bardi, the Kuris, the Pitjantjatjara and many more Aboriginal peoples. Then around 400 years ago, a ship sailed over the horizon, bringing with it the first Europeans. Settlers brought their way of doing things, their windmills, their houses, and changed Australia forever. Not only for the indigenous people, but for the endemic species of plants and animals as well. With the settlers came rats, dogs, rabbits, cats and foxes.
Have had a major impact on our country right from the day one when they were introduced by the European settlers as early as the 1850s. The intentions of the settlers to bring this species into Australia were to use them for sporting and fur. However, the real implications of introducing them into our large, secluded continent have turned out to be detrimental to not only our agriculture but also our native fauna's sustainability. The fox, Volpes volpes, is an omnivorous animal with distinct features of a small domesticated medium-sized dog. Foxes are red or orange in colour and have large pointy ears and a bushy wiry tail. You can't miss a fox because their screams to warn fellow foxes are very distinct and aggressive. Foxes have been surveyed throughout Australia extensively, with constant distribution and population increases. Foxes had migrated and distributed throughout South Australia by 1901, and then continued quite rapidly throughout Queensland, Western Australia, and then the rest of Southeast Australia by the 1930s. Foxes are scavengers. They are capable of living in any type of rural or urban habitat as long as they have sufficient food and shelter. Even though the fox is an omnivore, the food that they need to live off and the damages to the environment has created them to be a pest in Australia. The fox is a key threatening species to our production animals. Year after year, the fox is the reason for every farmer's grief when losing their stock. Foxes' prime diet consists of sheep, rabbits and mice. Foxes have been known to cause losses of approximately 10% to 30% of lambs to a flock. This is absolutely detrimental to farmers, as every murdered and infected lamb is a loss of money. Foxes did not only kill sheep's stock, they are also capable of being a predator to other livestock, spreading weeds and spreading diseases. They also cause damage to fence lines, drip irrigation, and to crops and poultry. Foxes have not only had a negative impact towards agriculture in Australia, but they have also been a primary predator for our native fauna. The fox has been a threat and cause for the depletion of approximately 40 native Australian animals. The animals that are main prey for foxes are medium-sized ground-dwelling and semi-arboreal mammals, ground-nesting birds and freshwater turtles. Foxes have only become an invasive species where they have been introduced. Throughout Europe, foxes aren't a pest as they are used for many different sports as well as for their fur. This therefore means that these European countries that introduced a major pest to Australia actually conserve them, especially the red fox in their own country. The eradication of foxes is very important in Australia to sustain our agricultural resources as well as protect our native fauna from plummeting into extinction. Trail baiting, trapping and shooting are all methods used to control the populations of foxes in Australia. However, it's finding the most cost-effective, humane and least damaging to the other animals and land that will be how we will continue in the future.
Dogs for conservation now can be really put to great use. I mean, they can go to places where we can't. They can use their noses where we can't. No. I think now that once we get the dogs trained and people in the departments like Parks and Wildlife and like the Sutherland Shire Council today, once they realise the potential of these dogs, I think the sky's the limit. What we're doing now is that we're looking for fox scent, either scat, trails and particularly...
Unfortunately, there have been several illegal attempts to introduce red foxes into Tasmania. From the late 1990s onwards, there has appeared to be a number of introductions of the fox into the island. In 2001, the Tasmanian government established the Tasmania Fox Free Task Force to control and prevent an increase in fox introductions. In 2006, the Fox Free Task Force examined all the available evidence of the presence of foxes in Tasmania and concluded that an unknown number of foxes are living in Tasmania and that action needs to be taken to prevent the spread of this pest.
4 or 5 foxes. There to be 4 foxes, 4 or 5 foxes.
A proper dog can go in there. really put to great use. I mean, they can go to places where we can't. They can use their noses where we can't. They can go
Closer together because there's a lot more food. So in this reserve, I'd expect there to be 4 foxes, 4 or 5 foxes.
A proper dog can go in there, indicate to where the feral animal lives, indicate to where the endangered species is, and so the officers from those departments can come in